Hello, welcome back to Snug Talk, the show where you guys send me topics to talk about, and I give my thoughts. I give my input on them. I'm sorry for the hiatus. I know it's been around 2 months, but let me tell you, if you remember the last video I made about not giving up, I have not given up. I have been working towards something. Thank you guys for your patience, and let's hop into this first topic in a while. And I plan to do many more after this. Don't worry. I don't feel like there's anything in the future for me. Like my future is just a blank space. I don't see myself doing anything then. The people around me are all worrying about their future, but I just feel like I don't have one. And I'm scared of that. Valid. I mean, it's hard. It's whenever you're going into the topic of futures, whenever you're going into the topic of what you want to do with your entire life, the life that you've been given on this planet, and you're forced to ask yourself the question of what now. It's hard to find a answer, especially when everyone around you seems like they have it figured out. You know, yeah, all your friends, oh, I'm gonna go to school for aerospace, engineering. Oh, I'm gonna go into business and law and create my own business and do some crazy stuff. And you're maybe reaching your senior year of high school and you still don't really know what's going on. Shoot, I'm going into my sophomore year of college, and I'm still a little confused. Which, by now I have a little road to go, but it took me a while. And I think the main point that I want to really drill into this, the big thing I want to, if you take anything from this video, I want it to be this. And it's that it's okay to live at your own pace. It's okay to live at your own speed. I think I've said this so many times on this channel, and maybe I sound like a broken record by now, but comparison is seriously the thief of joy. I think that's the title I even had. But like, seriously, you bring up seeing people around you seeming so determined on the path that they've chosen in their life and feeling so behind. Why does that matter? Because here's the thing. A given in life is that people are going to be born in different circumstances. Someone's going to be a billionaire's son, and someone is going to be, in maybe a less fortunate situation. That is just how life goes. You might be gifted a beautiful housing bastion, or you might be getting shot off a treasure by 20 piglins. I hate this scene so much. Sorry. And those people in those situations are going to have their life settled. Now, I'm not saying people don't work for it. I'm just saying that people have different experiences, different outcomes, different paths they've gone down and will to continue to go down. Our lives are so different from one another. Sure, maybe like one of my, greatest friends, our lives are so different from each other. He is like big into the gym. He really works on kind of short form content. He's really busy all the time. And I am not that at all. I'm usually staying at home working on longer form content. I at least go on a walk every day. I'm making sure I'm healthy, I'm hydrated, I'm eating well. But our lives are just so different. And I often will find myself comparing myself to him, being like, oh, why am I not going to the gym every day? Why am I not focusing on the things that matter? I should be trying to lose 30 pounds by the end of the month. And then I realize I'm not doing too bad where I am. I'm not where he is. Maybe he has, a guaranteed job out of college or something like that, but I'll find my way. I'm 19. I have time. I understand that. Oh, sometimes you gotta listen to the elders, you should be worried about your future. You're 20. Do what you want. The world is yours. I think that statement has a little truth to it. You can say, shut up, boomer, you don't know anything about my life, but they're right. And I think, the boomers, that's such an old term, I'm sorry. I think the older generations, it holds a little, they have some, what they're saying is from experience. They've lived life. They've chosen their path so long ago. And you can probably ask them, when did you find out that this is the career you wanted to go down? And shoot, they might tell you they chose the career in like their 40s. Because this leads to another point. You can change what you do. For example, let's say I have a family full of people who went into engineering. You know, my dad's an engineer, my mom is like maybe a researcher in some field, and I feel pressured like, okay, I just need to go into engineering. You know, family's been doing this, might as well just continue the tradition. Might as well. So I go into it, you know, study for a couple of years, get a good job, but maybe while I'm working, I realize this sucks. I don't want to do this. I'm not having fun, and I want to do something else. I know this is making me money. I know this is gonna guarantee me a great life, but I'm not having fun. And that's when you have to make a decision. What will you prioritize? The, guaranteed path where you're living in sorrow, but whenever you're like 60 or 80, you'll be happy. Or will you prioritize yourself right now? Because from what I've heard, the other side of that rainbow, whenever you choose the sorrow side of it and are working every day of your life, sure, you might be in a better position, but you don't feel like you are. You don't. You can ask. I mean, even like my siblings, they're, approaching 30s, some of them. Sorry, that's... I hope they don't see this. Sorry for the reminder. But they constantly tell me, like, dude, I'm currently working like a solid job, but I wish I was pursuing something else. And, while you're young, you can mess up. You can make mistakes. Most importantly, you can have fun. Maybe if you're going to look at this in a comparative view, sure, you can look at these people, going into these fields, look at these coworkers, friends, classmates that seem so driven, so successful, so much are going right for them. But you also have to think about, are they enjoying that? If it's a friend, ask them, are you having fun with this field? Again, I have some friends who, are going to college for engineering, and they're tempted doing something completely different. They're tempting, like, just switching the major. Like, maybe it's not worth it. Maybe we gotta swap it up. It's okay to change, and, life is so short. I think that's something we also forget. I think, we always hear that, like, time is always moving. You gotta do something now. And in a sense, life is so short can seem scary. But if it's so short, why would you spend all of that time chasing something you don't want to do? If life is so short, do you really have time for the boring stuff? Now, I know this is going a little off topic. I know you're saying that you just feel behind, not that you don't know where to go. But I think it's one and the same. Because at the end of the day, to find out where you want to go, you have to have a talk with yourself. Multiple talks. I didn't find out what I wanted to do, and I'm still pretty, I'm in a position where I think things can still change, but it took me a while. It took me a while to feel confident. It took me a while to know that this is what I wanted. And I'm still not there yet. I'm still at a point in my life where if things don't go right, I'm going to have to take the boring path. Because at the end of the day, hard truth of life, bills got to be paid. Bills do have to be paid. And it's scary. It's a scary truth. All the prices are on the rise and don't seem to be stopping at any point. And times are getting harder. But I don't want to scare you out of having fun. And again, I don't want to scare you out of living at your own pace. I think my best example in my life is that I was always scared of driving. I'm still scared of driving. And I put off getting my learner's permit from when I was 14 to about when I was 17. Everyone else around me had it. I would have talks and I would lie to my friends' faces saying, hey, I got my permit too, just so I could feel included. Until I admitted to myself that I was scared. And it was okay that I was behind. Because at 17, I ended up getting it. I felt confident, and I was ready just a little later. Don't rush yourself, live at your own pace. Thank you so much for watching.